Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Thanks for tuning in. I finally got myself a portable video 2000 system with matching tuner. I've actually been after this for quite a few years now. Never actually seen one in the flesh. One came up on eBay a few months back. I think he had it on for around about £150 or more, which I thought was a little bit too much because it's not working. And then the price dropped to around the £100 mark. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to bite the bullet and get it because I've always wanted one. And I thought it'd be an interesting project to make an interesting video. So this is going to be part one of a video. And today we're just going to be taking a quick look at this, have a quick look inside, and see what it's all about. So stay tuned and I'll see you right after the intro. So this machine actually came out in 1983, although according to this book here from 1983, it was actually destined to be released in 1982. The Video 2000 format has at long last brought out a portable video system, although it was originally announced in late 1982, it won't really be available until summer 1983. It's a VR2220 and has a matching tuner, which is the VR2120. The price actually seems quite reasonable for the time, £450. Because when you look at some of the others, I think it's like the JVC, just there, which I have the Ferguson clone of, it's actually £625. And I thought the Philips machine would have been a lot more money, but it turns out it wasn't at the time. But interesting, in today's money, I've had a look, and it works out just over £1,900. So it was a lot of money back in the time. Which again is, like I mentioned before in other videos, is why people rented them back in the day. Because for what you were going to use it for, just now and again for birthdays, weddings, that kind of thing, you just couldn't justify spending that kind of money on a unit unless you were, of course, very wealthy. It didn't do bad with its reviews. I'll take a picture of this now. It's still at the end of the video, just in case anyone wants to have a read of it. But the weight of the actual unit itself, the Video 2000 deck there, is 4.6 kilos. I'm assuming that includes the battery. Oh no, that's excluding the battery in the tape. So you're probably looking at just over 5 kilos then with the battery in the cassette. But no, it's a very unusual looking machine, because when you compare it to the JVC version, the Ferguson clone, it's actually a lot smaller. That was the biggest shock I saw actually when I got this. I'll show you actually just how different it is in size compared to the JVC. There we go. So that's the JVC VHS deck, and you can see it's quite a lot slimmer than the VHS deck, and it weighs around about the same as well, so it makes you wonder how they fit everything in there. And of course the mechanism is entirely different to a VHS system as well. One of the interesting things about Video 2000, if you haven't read about it already or you didn't already know about it, is with these tapes you can actually turn them over. So you get 2 hours on one side and 2 hours on the other, depending on how long the tape is. This cassette here is a 2 hours on one side and 2 on the other. When you pull that back, that drops down. It can go either way. So you just turn it over basically, pop it back in, you get the other side. And the quality of these cassettes is actually amazing. Such good quality. It's even got brass bushes there, look, for the tape to run over. Usually they're either plastic or stainless steel on VHS. And you've also got a built-in system to stop you from erasing over it as well, which is handy. I actually had a Philips and a Grundig as a teenager. I remember getting them in the late 80s, early 90s, and a car boot sale second hand. And the Philips, well, I forget the model number now, it was the silver deck. And I think it had 2 or 3 different LED displays on it. And then there was a Grundig one, which was like a brown colour with gold trim. Both very nice machines. The Philips worked okay, but the Grundig was all a little bit fickle. So let's take a look around, shall we, and see what we've got. Show you the front of that one there. So you've got quite a lot of buttons on there. Record, rewind, stop, wind and play. Obviously that's fast forward. Eject. Got a little counter on there. You can set between the tuner and the camera. what means. And you've got an audio dub button as well. You've got strap mounts on the side there. Then around the back, you've got a multi-port connector point there. And that looks like a heatsink. Now, unfortunately, even though the seller wrapped these really, really well, they ended up getting damaged in the post. And these were in very good condition initially. I'll just show you the damage it suffered. It's only minor. You can see there's some fracturing there on that side. A little bit there as well in the plastic, because this is completely plastic, this machine. And then on the tuner, you can see the casing is bulging out slightly. So I say he wrapped it really well with loads and loads of bubble wrap in a cardboard box, and it must have been chucked off the back of the lorry, which is very disappointing. I was quite devastated about that actually when it happened, or when I discovered it. So under here you've got the battery connection point. I was amazed actually that it came with its original battery, which will be long gone now. 12 volts, 2.7 amp hours, and apparently gets you an hour recording. It's in very good condition. I don't think it's ever been removed. But there's quite a lot of weight there. I bet that weighs half a kilo itself. And you've got another 12 volt input on the side there. And they gave you the standard JVC system 10-pin camera connection, which is good. I guess they could have gone the Sony way, but they went that way instead because there's a lot more cameras available. And you would have used a camera like this back in the day. This is a Akai VC90. And you would have this 10-pin camera connection basically. This would go on your shoulder. And then you'd carry the camera as well. So there's quite a lot of weight to lug about. Let's have a quick look at the tuner. So on the tuner, you've got two displays on there. You've got a clock, and then you've got your channel, power button, call, forward and end. So I guess that's to call up your timer. And then you've got clock adjustment there as well. I do seem to remember these being quite complicated machines to set up actually as a teenager. It's got a label there proudly announcing it's made in Germany on the top, on both units actually. Around the back here, this was my first experience with a SCART connector, Euro SCART AV connector. If you don't know what that is, basically that carries all your video and audio signals back and forth, rather than having separate RCA cables. You've got another 12 volt DC input there. Centre pin is minus. And there you've got, I think that's an audio output if I remember rightly, DIN output. With this being European, obviously the connections are a little bit different to what we're used to, because normally we'd have BNC connectors and RCA connectors here in England at that time period. So I say that was my first time ever seeing a SCART connection. Then you've got RF out and RF in for your analog aerial, and your figure of 8 mains lead input, and again another large heatsink on the back there. Yeah, this is all plastic. And then you've got this connection plug here, and that's what connects the two units together. So we'll turn it on in a moment and see exactly what it's doing, which is not a lot. The tuner's coming on. There we go, you hear the mechanism moving slightly on this one, but this is not powering up whatsoever. Got a clock flashing there. And when I tried this the other day when I first got it, or the other week, that seemed a bit sluggish, but it seems to be a bit quicker at changing today. But this isn't working at all. Did it eject the other day? No, it's not even ejecting. So it's got some kind of trouble going on in there. I've never worked on a Video 2000 before, but I do understand they're quite complex machines to work on. So like I said at the beginning, this will be for another video for doing a repair. I'm hoping as well that I'll get some comments regarding this system. Any things people might know about it, what kind of little niggly things and quirks it has. Because all these different machines, if you work on these things, they all have their little problems. Some are easily fixable, some are a lot more complicated. I'm hoping going forward I will be able to get this working, because there was a camera to go with this as well. It's the Sony clone of a HVC 2000 I think, and I've forgotten the model number, but it says Grundig on it if I remember rightly. and it's like a gold colour instead of black. Well, I think what we'll do next, we'll pop the hoods off these two, get this cabinet straightened out, and see what's inside of them, because I'm quite interested to see what's going on in there. And if I remember rightly, when I was a teenager, when I opened up my other machines, and they were quite well put together from what I can remember, but that was quite a long time ago. So we'll do that next. Okay, so I think we'll open up the tuner first, because that seems to have fared the worst. I want to get that cabinet straightened back up. I've got a feeling that the nut on the inside is probably just going around, if there is one on the inside. Unless it just slides back. It could actually be captive screws, where they stay in the casing so you don't lose them. I've seen that before. So I've never opened one of these up. I've not got a service manual. Oh, that one's coming out a bit now. There we go. I can hear bits of plastic in there. There we go. Is it just those two? Sometimes there can be a hidden one. There we go. Wow, that is a big transformer. No wonder it was so heavy. Apart from some dust, it's in quite good condition. Certainly a lot going on in there. Got 3 power transistors on the back there, and those just unplugged with those cables, which is good. Easy serviceable, no soldering needed. In fact, a lot of the things in here are actually plugged and socketed. Got a primary tuner there and a secondary one. I guess one's probably a modulator. Some very large capacitors there at the back. Certainly won't want to be in the way of those when they went bang. Can't see any reefer caps, which is good. I later learned that actually is a reefer cap. It's hidden in that black box down the bottom right corner there. So I shall have to replace this at a later date, before it inevitably explodes. Because they're always prone to fail, they are. Seem to be more Japanese and British things actually, those reefer caps. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fuses that I can see. Wow. Let's see if there's any broken plastics in there. I can hear something rattling around. They must have gone underneath. There's a little bit of damage there, a lot on the side unfortunately, which is internal so you won't see it. Oh, actually, no, you will see it. It's just there. Look, I thought that was going to go below the cabinet, but it's not. That's unfortunate. Right, let's have a look inside the actual deck itself. This is the more interesting bit. Wouldn't it be good if it was just a blown fuse inside and it all just came back to life? It's highly unlikely. I've just got a feeling that this back bit here is going to crumble. So I'll undo the screw. I'm hoping I'll be able to drop a little bit of super glue on the back of it, on the inside, to give it some support. In fact, they've both got pressure marks, I can see it now. Let's get the battery back out. Well, that came off easy. Do I need to eject it to get this back off? That's the question. Oh, no, maybe not. There we go. So that's basically the battery compartment. Wow, certainly a lot of shielding. All those capacitors up on their ends. Very large ribbon cable there. I can see a fuse on the DC input there, but that looks okay. And at first glance, that fuse there looks okay as well. But we did hear the mechanism power up slightly, didn't we? So I guess if it was going to be a fuse, it wouldn't have even done that. I mean, it could be that this isn't outputting the correct voltage. Well, it's certainly shielded very well. There's no dust going to get in that. It's in very good condition as well. It's all still shiny, so it's not been kept in a damp environment. On the back of those boards there's some other components. You probably can't quite see it on these thin boards here. Okay, I thought I'd try powering this up externally with a different power supply, just in case it's not quite getting enough volts to get this thing to stay on or come on. Because that initial burst when you switch the tuner on could just be obviously a little burst here just to test the mechanism out as it's doing a self-test or whatever. So I've got a bench power supply wired up. Just going to make sure my polarity is right, because centre pin is minus on this, like on the Sony gear. Yeah, just about 13 volts there coming out, so that'll be fine. So let's plug this in and see if anything happens. Nothing. Just try this other one, because that one's a little bit thinner. No. So something's wrong with it. Try it in the battery input, which is probably going to be wired up the same, but you never know, it might be a damaged board or something. Nothing. Oh, hang on. So that's on battery now, but no, it's still not doing anything. It's just as it was before. It sounds like it's trying to do something, but it's not drawing any amps, but it seems like it's a bit of a dodgy socket. Yeah, still getting 13 volts out. It's just being a bit fickle, isn't it? The connection doesn't feel great actually. And here is that review I promised from the video A to Z guy from the summer of 1983. I'll leave it on the screen for a moment. You can pause it so you can have a read. Well, there you have it, the portable Video 2000 from Philips from 1983. Such an unusual machine, isn't it? Obviously, when you push the two together, it almost looks like a video recorder for at home. So you could put that on your TV and obviously use it as a video recorder, as well as a portable machine to take out and about. Unfortunately, it's not working at the moment, but hopefully going forward, with the help of some other people maybe, I'll be able to get this machine working. Like I mentioned before, if you do know any of its quirks, or you come across any of these problems you've witnessed here, let me know in the comments. I don't have a service manual for it yet. That'll probably be a good starting point, but we'll have to see going forward where we go with this. Well, I think that'll do for this video. Like I said, it was just a quick show and tell, and hopefully I'll make a future video about it. Well, I guess that just leaves me to say, as always, thanks for watching. Until the next video, I'll be seeing you. And if you did enjoy watching this video, you may want to take a look at some of my other videos on similar themes. I'm always buying something on eBay, some more piece of technology, and trying to repair it. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Thanks for watching.